Down the inside.
What a move!
The Aston Martin driver is desperate to keep a hold of the position.
Oh, how has he managed that as well?
Wow.
Will he go on the inside? Oh, he tried it.
Oh, squidgy's out.
Big crash there. Turn 15, isn't it?
Oh, he's dropped. What a move for the SF.
Wow.
Jolly, world champion for the second time in a row.
Vidal is a four-time champion.
And Harvey is the F1XL Season 17 champion. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the F1XL stream. Ollie is having some major technical difficulties his side, so that is rather, well, painful for us both right now, unfortunately. He's trying to get it sorted. He's going to probably get a little bit angry at that at the same time. So while we wait for him, qualifying, it is one shot today because of the sprint race that we've got going on as well. So I will wait for the one-shot qualifying to get done and dusted before we have a look at everything that pops down. And saying that, it has been sorted now. So Harrison in 5th place there, as you saw right at the end. But it is distant barred on pole for this sprint race here. I believe. Actually, I can't remember the way it works. This sprint race anyway. He's on there in 1st, 2nd to Swain, Delta 3rd, 4th to Steph, 5th Harrison, 6th Jellyman Tim, Binary 7th, 8th to Goddard Gaming, 9th to Hammond, King Liam in 10th, 11th is Stracker, Quickdid in 12th, 13th to Map 45, Archie in 14th, and 15th to Elder. And unfortunately, Sketchy, I think, had issues through that, so hopefully he's going to be able to join very, very shortly. And while we wait for everything that happens through this, let's have a little bit of a nicer screen on the thing right now. It started raining midway through qualifying, which is not ideal for those drivers. But as they start getting themselves sorted, it looks very dry for the feature race. The sprint race, sorry. So this is going to be an interesting one to see how this one pans down with. At the moment, I still don't have any. I don't think we've got any luck with Ollie and his connection right now. Are you back? Is that saying you're back?
Hopefully it doesn't get picked up on the mic, but I can hear you. I do apologise. I need to get a new audio plug on the PC because it doesn't connect. It doesn't accept my headphones, but I'm here. We're ready for Belgium, guys. Ready for the sprint race.
Fantastic. So let's go back to our faces. Even though your face is a little, you might need. I think you knocked your camera halfway through, so we could only see like the top of your forehead. That's better. That's better.
Oh dear, no one wants to see that. There we go. Let's bring it down. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better.
So Belgium, obviously, we've missed the one-shot qualifying, but we've got a sprint race and a feature race to go alongside this one. It is one of the most historic tracks on the circuit. It's bound to be a great race. I'm sure it is.
Especially when it's a sprint, Gareth. You know, we know how exciting this race can be. Plenty of places to overtake, and it can be a manic race at times, but hopefully we have a lovely clean race. Plenty of overtaking opportunities. We've seen guys go side by side through the majority of the circuit at times, so I'm hoping for a fantastic race tonight. And it's some added pressure, you could argue, with the sprint race here before we get into the future later on.
Yeah, the countdown timer for the sprint race is going down, and so that's a. I'm sure we've got the formation lap set here. Please. Yeah, there we go. It's formation lap, so I don't need to panic about that too much. Last time out, we weren't here. Unfortunately, I had issues my end, but Mexico, it was a win for Harrison and a second place for Sinful Chris and King Liam, sorry, taking third place as well. A DNF though for Master Swain, which won't have done his championship battling any good. But Distant Bard finished 11th there in Mexico, but he's on pole for this one.
Yeah, great job for Disembard putting it on pole, and obviously Harrison in fifth, Gareth, which a little bit surprising there. But obviously Swain and Disembard front row here with Delta in P3. Delta hopefully have a good race. He's been a bit of a mixed bag for him so far this season, so it'll be good to hit for him if he can get a good result tonight. But Gareth, there's always that debate, isn't there, with the sprint race? Do you go hard and try and gain some places, or do you sort of be conservative knowing how much more points are on offer for the feature race? So it's a lot to debate for these drivers. I'm sure they'll all be going flat out, but there are the questions still at large for the drivers going into the sprint race.
Well, there's definitely question marks about whether it's going to stay dry for the whole of the race, because it's looking like it's rain at the end of sprint, or just rain at the end. I don't know if that means for the normal race as well, but it'll be interesting to see nonetheless. And yeah, with the cars, I say the cars, with the drivers halfway around the track, who do you think is going to take a victory in this sprint race, mind you, just the sprint race?
If we're going off sprint only, it's a tough one, Gareth. It'd be good for Bard to get the win tonight. Swain, we know how good he is, and Harrison, you can't discount him even though it's a sprint race. But for me, I think I'm going to go with fan favourite Game Man Steph for the win from the second row of the grid.
Fair enough. It's going to be an interesting one nonetheless. It's Xbox, PC, Xbox. That's your front four there. Obviously, the rest of the grid is Xbox as well, but this is where the crossplay sits in. Sketchy will be a little bit annoyed having his game crash right on him right at the end as he went into the lobby, so that's going to be an interesting one. But I suppose we really should get to the grid and see how this one's doing. QuickDid is disqualified from the session. I'm guessing that's something that's happened on there, but let's go down to it. And the Belgium Grand Prix is going to be very, very close to being underway. It is now, and it's looking like a very good start from Delta off the line as well. Swain, I think, has had a good start. Bino's got a great one as well. Looking at it from Delta's point of view, he's trying to go around the outside. Harrison darts up the inside, attacking Gamer Man Steph. Those two battled away for season after season in loads of things. Got a game and get himself up 2 places as well. Back past Binary, and actually, I think in the long run, Binary's actually got the position done. It's a bad start for Jellyman Tim. He's further down, but a little bit higher up. Game Man Steph is on the attack to Distant Bard. Side by side is Delta and Swain as they come down the Kemmel Straight. Is Swain going to hold on to it? But oh, goodness me, Delta somehow gets through and nearly takes Swain along with him.
Yeah, just about squeezes through there. I think there's a tiny bit of contact through there, but great move around the outside, Gav. Fair play to Delta. Works his way through and now into the lead of the Grand Prix. His goal now will be try to stretch out his legs, but you know how quick this pack is. Look at them all neck and neck as they come into Pouan for the first time here in Spa, and through they go. A bit of movement throughout the grid, Gav, but not too much in the sprint race. But again, it's still plenty more laps to go.
I think Sketchy and Matt might have had an incident with someone because they are way off the pace at the moment. Swain all over the back of Delta. It looks like Spa-Francorchamps might be a good track for Swain because he's got the pace. And I mean, the Kemmel Straight is a little bit of a... I don't want to say an issue, but a bad one for some of these off the line because you can get caught out even if you are the quicker driver because of the slipstream. We have lost a driver a bit further back as it's Sketchy Crib again, I think at the exit of Stavelot, and that's not ideal. Harrison and Game Man Steph still battling away. I'm not sure who to stay on board with right now, but Game Man Steph does get back up the inside into turn 1, but they're still side by side is Steph and Harrison.
Yeah, watch out for Binary in the background of all this. He's dealing away with God of Gaming as they're almost side by side coming on to Rajon and Eau Rouge. Up they go for the second time here. Can Harrison stay ahead of Steph? He's gained that place now. Steph obviously down a place. He's got to be careful. Look at Binary. He cuts across the grass there as well. And Binary might have a look around the outside. A neck coming down into the braking zone of Lecom. Through they go. And Can Binary hanging around the outside. He's got the inside of the next part of the corner. Oh, there's contact, Gareth. And that is the Aston Martin around side by side through the first two parts, but unfortunately it's contact, and that's Binary down to 15th place.
Yeah, it's a relatively strong start for Binary. That's just unfortunately gone from bad to worse, and that's the problem with going through Lacombe's side by side, isn't it? You run the risk of collecting the side pod of someone.
Yeah, it was the slightest of touches, Gareth, but you know this game as well as I do. There's sometimes the weird contact model, and unfortunately that sent Binary around, but luckily for him, obviously we've got a feature race, so he can come back stronger, hopefully, in that race, but he's got a lot of work to do now to try and claw his way back in the points, which might be quite unlikely unless something significant happens in this race. For the top two trying to break away from the rest of the pack, Gareth, but they're not able to. Distant Bar still within touching distance of the top two, and he did a slight gap over, so an extra tenth or so, but again, once DRS is enabled on this lap now, we might see a change for the lead.
DRS is going to be the one to watch out for. Harrison, the fastest man on the track. How many times have we said that in this season and previous seasons as well? Looking from the back view of Distant Bard, and you've got a big chunk of Red Bull of Harrison behind. Sketchy Crib, the fastest man on the track. He's finally managed to get it together. Binary still has, like you mentioned, has a chance through all this, but looking back from Distant Bard, he is under immense pressure from Harrison. I don't think the Kemmel Straight is going to be long enough for him to get anything sorted into turn 7, but that was a straight line speed of the Red Bull is reminiscent of 2023 Red Bull.
Oh, Gareth, the big mistake is contact. It looks like there's a few drivers involved in the background. I didn't see what happened, but I think Jellyman Tim's made a mistake, Gareth. He's down to 14th. Oh, and there's more contact. Himself and Archie come together. That's the fry with that front right wheel, and that is a full course yellow. It looks like no safety car just yet, but oh no, we do have a full safety car, and that will be popping out on this lap now. And we said Binary was not going to get points, Gareth. This could be his opportunity here, but unfortunately, Jellyman Tim having contact with Archie there. Didn't see exactly what happened, but no front right left on that Ferrari and safety car in a sprint race. We don't normally see that happening.
No, and Jellyman Tim is going to be absolutely fuming. Because I've seen it back on the stream and it does not look pretty. So, yeah, not ideal. And, I mean, the drivers with front wing damage, I think there's a few with front wing damage, can get on. And I wonder if they will risk a set of softs. I mean, it's not... It'll be very risky of them, but it will go to the end. They just won't be very nice at the end.
Yeah, it's that debate, isn't it? We've got a few actually in the pits. Stracker, Elder, and Binary all in the pits for changes, and looks obviously, like you mentioned, all onto a set of soft tyres and a few front wing changes in that as well. So they are risking it, Gareth. They're thinking, why not? You know, a few of them have lost a few places, obviously, because the pack was still so bunched together. You know, we barely got into this race. We were 3.5 laps before that contact happened. So Stracker, even though he's going to the pits, he obviously went up a few places, but he's only up one from where he was previously. So he's on a fresh set of soft tyres. So hopefully we'll only have 2 laps of this safety car, and then we can go out racing once again here at Spa. But yeah, some of them have risked it. You know, why not, Gareth? You know, in this sprint race, try sometimes you got to risk it and try your very best to try something a little bit different in these unusual races that we do have this season. So we'll see what Stracker can do. Keep an eye on him. He's the he did the front runner for the soft tyre here in this sprint race. So keep an eye on him, and as well as a few other guys behind him on the restart.
Yeah, time will tell how it will all pan out here in Belgium. But yeah, looking at it from a a driver's point of view, King Liam is all over the back of Liam Hammond. That's a really interesting. I mean, you could merge the two together and get King Liam Hammond out of all this, and if they keep on driving as close as they are, it might actually happen that way. Swain obviously started second and is still second. He led the majority of the Kemmel Straight of the first lap, but that was about it. Distant Bar dropped 2 places, and Delta took the lead of the Grand Prix off of Swain. Now, Harrison in 4th place, started 5th, only managing that 1 positional gain, and I don't know if the safety car will be in this lap, but Archie's close enough for it to possibly happen.
I'd love if it was, but I think it's got to be out for at least 2 laps, hasn't it? If my memory serves me correct. We'll see what happens now. Yeah, it'll be another lap, unfortunately, Gareth. So we will have, what will be that, lap 6, 7, 8. We'll have 3 racing laps here to finish off this race. So the last lap will be under DRS, so we'll have that to contend with. But plenty of overtaking for then anyway. But you can see how frustrating Delta is. He's below 100 miles an hour behind the safety car. They want to get going, guys. They don't want to sit behind him, drive slowly. The tyres getting cold. They're not racing. They don't want this as much as we do. So hopefully it comes in at the end of lap 5. So we'll have some racing left in the sprint race before we then go on to the feature race later on this evening.
Yeah, we'll. This is something I don't think actually we've ever seen in F1XL. A safety car under short. Feature sprint race conditions, which I mean, I might be wrong, but it's very weird to see this happening tonight. But Delta leading the way at the moment, showing some of the promise that he's flattered to deceive in the past. Do you think he's capable of taking it to the end of the race now?
Well, he's been pretty good so far, Gareth. You know, he's done well, held off a top contender in Master Swain this evening. So, if anything's to go by, you know, that's pretty good. I'm just trying to look for him in the standings. So he's had 1 third place in Canada, and the other best finish he's had was 4th place at Imola. So he's been on the podium. But not a win to his name. He has had a bit of a record for making mistakes and not sort of capitalising on good positions. Very much, you could argue, like got a gaming last year, Gareth, but he's done pretty well so far. So hopefully we've not jinxed him. So we'll see whether he can do it. I hope he does, just to add a new winner to our table this year, Gareth. But we'll see. He's got 3 laps to defend. And unfortunately for him, he's got a great lineup behind him of Swain, Bard, Harrison and Steph all gunning to take that win off him. So we'll see how he manages his restart now, hopefully, or at the end of this lap.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Safety car is in. So this is where they start refreshing those tyres a little bit. Now, there is reports of rain at the end of the sprint that came through earlier. That could be Delta just trying to throw, smoke at a few other people and just try and make things a little bit more interesting. It doesn't look like it's going to rain. It looks clear here in Belgium right now, but the safety car is very much into the pits now as we wait and see how this one will all pan down. When does Delta decide to go? Let's look at it from a Swain point of view as we head into turns 19 and 20 and see when he actually goes, because an interesting part is, can Delta go quickly enough to put off the rest of the drivers?
He's left it very last minute, guys. There he goes. Swain almost collecting the Alfa Romeo there, but off they go into turn 1 for the 6th time in the background. And look at Harrison going around the outside of Distant Bard. Can he get the traction? No, he can't. Watch out for Steph. They're going to be 3 abreast coming into turn 2 and turn 3. Look at the overspeed from Stefan around the outside of both the drives. Up into 3rd he goes. Great move from Stefan. Watch out for Bard and Harrison as they go to the Kemmel Straight, Gareth. It's who's going to be quickest coming into the next couple of corners at Lecom here. It looks just about Steph has got it here. Can Harrison got the inside of Bard through turn 7, 8 and 9? No, he can't. And that is Steph up into P3. Great overtaking from him there.
That was not ideal for him at all. I think Map 45 and King Liam have had a coming together, because they're down out of the points. Out of the points now, because the soft runners are ahead of them, and they are quite off the pace as well. Swain unable to do anything against Delta at the moment. And gaming man Steph, well, looking like he might drop away from this one, as I think we've lost Liam Hammond.
Yeah, Liam Hammond's hit the curb, Gareth, on the inside of Prawn, and that is him round to 14th.
That's not ideal at all for him. I'm keeping an eye on Harrison to see when he attacks Distant Bard, but it does look like Game Man Steph doesn't have the overall out-and-out pace. But maybe I should be watching Swain as they come through into Blanchimont. He's all over the back of the Alpha.
He is, but not close enough at the moment, Gareth. Just increasing. I think the straight line speed of that Alpha is a little bit better than Swain's straight line speed, but through the bust up chicane they go for the 6th time. Oh, Swain almost loses the back end there, and that'll cost him a few tenths of a second. It allows Steph to gain a little bit of time on the McLaren here, coming through La Source for the 7th time here. Round they go, and it looks like a move from Harrison up the inside of Distant Bard. Bard's got a better traction on the outside and just about stays ahead. That you can barely separate the Mercedes and the Red Bull here. Just about they squeeze through Eau Rouge here, but look at Harrison. Can he hang it around the outside? They'll be side by side coming down towards 6, 7 and 8, but I think Mercedes has got the better straight line speed. But up the inside, he does a switchback on him. Up the inside they go, with a little bit of contact there, but through they go. Still, it's the Mercedes ahead. Through to 9 they go, and just about Bard stays ahead, but great defensive driving from him.
Wow, that is real racing there, and I thought Harrison may have made a mistake going up the inside of turn 7, but he managed to hold it. We've lost King Liam now. He's retired in the pit lane. Archie dropping off. I think he may have had a little bit of a spin with Sketchy Crip. No, they are battling away through Puon, as in the background, in the foreground, you got a Williams, I think, of got a Gaming trying to attack as well, but Archie losing the place to Sketchy in the end, and there's now a little bit of a gap between them. The soft gamble hasn't paid off, really, has it?
Well, not yet. I mean, Stracker's still up a few places from mistakes from other drivers, Gareth, so we'll see how he's got to negotiate, got a Gaming, and maybe even get Harrison here. But he'll only have one lap to do it in, and he'll be stuck in a DRS train, so maybe not. But we're coming into the end of lap 7 here. 1 lap to go here. Can Delta hold the lead, or can Swain take it off him? Steph is too far back, Gareth, so it's a two-way fight for the race win here.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. It would be rude of me not to watch the battle for the lead as they go through the source down through the kink of turn 2 before Radion, or Eau Rouge and Radion, which is turns 3, 4 and 5. Swain looking like he's got the slipstream, he's got the pace. Has he got will the DRS assist him as they come down here? We didn't have this before. Harvesting is the Alpha ahead of him, but defensive goes Delta. Swain goes to the outside of the Kemmel Straight and breezes past the Alfa Romeo. Will Delta try and go back up him into the inside of turn 7? He can't. There's not enough pace there. Swain into the lead of this Grand Prix on lap 8.
Great move. Delta had nothing to fight back with, Gareth, and now he's lost a little bit of time on the exit of turn 9 and is now almost half a second behind our race leader. Swain perfectly strategise that move, using the ES, using DRS up the inside, around the outside, coming into the turn 7, 8 and 9 complex, and that's him taking the lead, and I don't think Delta's got the pace to keep up here with him. He's dropping back, corner after corner, and this is Swain's race to bin now, Gareth.
Yeah, and he seems so strong in this third sector, does Swain as well. I know we're not in that third sector yet, but he got so close to Delta before, on the exits of everything, and it looks like he's able to pull away, is Swain, at the exit of turn 16. He looks so strong in comparison to Delta. Through Blanchimont they go, and it's just a short little bit of circuit for Swain. He's had a third place, he's had a second. At least he can say he can finally have a victory this season. It might be a sprint race, there's still further things to do. I think that's Elder in the background that's made a mistake, but Swain wins here at Spa-Francorchamps and gets the fastest lap of the way. I say that, Harrison decides to do it instead.
Right at the end there, Harrison a 46 lap. Great win for Swain. Nice to finally get his name on the board. Delta goes up one place from his best finish in second, and then Steph rounds up the podium here in the sprint race. So that will be the grid for the feature race in a couple of minutes' time. But what a race that was, Gareth. great overtaking. Have a safety car. That's the first. But luckily, we didn't have any rain within that race. But like you mentioned, we might have it in the future.
Yeah, that's a cracking result nonetheless. Let's have a look at the order one last time. Swain taking victory from Delta. They started second and third on the grid, and they both placed one position higher. Well, actually, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in qualifying finished 1, 2, 3, 4, and unfortunately for Distant Bard, he finished 5th. 6th place to Goddard Gaming, 7th to Stracker, and 8th to Quicted. They round out the point scoring position. Then we had Binary, Sketchy, Archie, Matt 45, Liam Hammond and Elder, with King Liam and Jellyman Tim not finishing the race. Well then, that was interesting. Game gave Quicted the driver of the day or the driver of the race. Who would you give the driver of the race to?
It's difficult because it's there's barely any time to sort of, I guess, prove yourself in a sprint race, Gareth. I'd go with Swain just because it was the race winner. Great overtaking. I'd probably say Swain in that one, Gareth.
Yeah, that's understandable as well, and I mean it's looking a little bit darker out there at the moment, and not massively, but there's a little bit more of a cloudy presence here at Spa, at the looks of things right now. I'm just thinking on a scale of who do you think's going to win this one? Is Swain obviously in with a chance, but do you think it's more of more difficult because he's starting on pole?
Yeah, obviously, if he does not break that 1 second window, we saw how powerful the DRS was coming onto that Kemmel Straight, Gareth. We saw obviously himself getting past Delta on the last lap, and he could be his own sitting duck this time around. He gives the complete opposite of the sprint race, so that's something to worry about for him. Obviously, we know how quick Harrison is. We saw him in that sprint race racing relatively quickly, as well as Bard and Steph. I think he's got more to play with, and obviously, when it comes to a feature race, there's far more going on within that environment. So we'll see how he does. It's going to be difficult, but you can't, start on pole, Gareth. I don't know what the percentage of winners are from pole, or whether it's a different position on the grid that's more successful, but we'll see. But he's got a great chance, Gareth. I don't think we've had back-to-back winners of sprint races yet this season, have we? Quick. No, I take that back. Harrison did it in Canada, so that's why I start out the window. But we'll see. Well, if that's good to go by, then Swain should be able to do it too. But we'll see. We'll see.
Time will tell on that,
Yes.
as well as we're waiting for drivers to set themselves out and stop arguing in the chat. I think is the best way to describe it. The Discord is interesting. Anyway, the countdown timer is on, and I'm pretty certain I've asked you who's going to take victory here, but I'm going to ask it again. Who's going to take victory?
I went with Steph in the first race, and I was almost right. We got onto the podium. But I think Swain will get it. Just going off statistics there, can't even get the word right. Statistics in the F1XL sprint and feature race weekends. I'm going for our race leader. Showed a phenomenal performance in that sprint race, and you could see how quick he was in that third sector alone, Gareth. No one was getting through there. So for me, I think it'll be Swain. However, rain is likely to become in this race. Swain is starting on a set of hards as well. So rain will look, well, it looks like it might come at one point, but yeah, mixed grid with regard to tyres. But for me, Gareth, I'm going to go with Swain. Mixed conditions will definitely throw up, hopefully, an exciting race.
Now, I'll cast your mind back to, I think, possibly our first commentary at Belgium, which is quite a while ago. There was rain, but it was the fake rain that didn't give Light Shock enough to go in. Well, what was it? It wasn't raining enough for people to go onto a set of intermediates, and it cost Light Shock the race win. Something along those lines.
The rain that wasn't wet somehow.
Yeah. it's the Saudi Arabian rain, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it hits the circuit and dissipates straight away.
But we'll... oh, King Liam disqualified. He's obviously wasn't ready. He's still on the grid, so he's... interesting from him. Hopefully he gets back from the toilet or getting a drink or wherever he's gone. But we've got 22 laps now of this Spa-Francorchamps circuit at Belgium. And yeah, Delta being on those white or yellow wall tyres compared to the majority of drivers around him on the white, that could help Swain. If Swain if he gets past and Swain could somehow just cling on to the back end, could help Swain, depending when the wet weather kicks in.
Yeah, well, we're not completely confirmed it's going to rain. But obviously, like I said, if he can stay along and keep on the sort of the coattails of Delta here, it'd be a great help for him in this race. But we'll see how he does that. Delta, we've seen how quick he is, especially when he's on the alternate tyre as well. So keep an eye on those. Keep an eye on obviously God Gaming there, just outside the top 5 on those mediums too, as well as Binary in 9th place. So plenty of action to happen in this race. Yeah, it's going to be a tasty one, I'm sure, Gareth, especially with rain and how everyone's on different strategies.
Yeah, we will definitely enjoy it. I'm certain of that. According to the screen there, we were on lap 2 as we wait for the lights, and it's not really good position. I'm having to go off Swain's view to see where the lights are kicking off. It looks like Harrison's had an absolute storm of a start as they go down into turn 1. Swain, I think, might lose the position around the outside. There's Distant Bard trying to get in on the action as well. Swain, Delta side by side, a Mercedes off in the background massively. Harrison holding up game man Steph as it looks like as they go into the Eau Rouge on Radion. Down into the Camel Straight they go. Harrison's going to be desperate to try and keep away in this, but I think we've got a virtual safety car.
We do have a virtual safety car, unfortunately, on the first lap. I think Elder and Sketchy came together. Can't see if there's any damage to those cars as they come on through. Yeah, Sketchy hasn't got a front wing at all, Gareth, and Elder, I think, might have damage to that car. I know Sketchy was definitely around. Elder seemed to be held up at one point, but yeah, we've got a virtual safety car at the moment, so hopefully this comes in very quickly and we can get racing once again.
Yeah, it's not ideal for that, for both Sketchy and Elder. Yeah, unfortunate to say the least. Just seeing if there's any more damage throughout the grid. It doesn't look like there is. Jellyman Tim looks pretty unscathed, as does King Liam. As we wait for the virtual safety car to finish, it looks like everyone else is good through the grid. So let's go back up to the top and see what Swain can do. That was a pretty poor camera angle to give here at the start of the Belgium Grand Prix, unfortunately. But it did look like Delta had definitely the better of the starts. Harrison, I think, may have been caught out a little bit of when these guys decided, well, when Delta decided to put the foot down. Someone else, I think, struggled through this is Distant Bard and Stracker. Look how close these guys are. We've got a gaming as well. This could be problematic for the Alpine driver as they come through Blanchemont into turn 19. Is a move going to be happening? Let's look at it from Stracker's point of view. He's clipped the back end of Distant Bard. I think Jellyman Tim, and I think there's been a couple of incidents there.
Yeah, it looked like God Gaming mistook his brake and then almost went into the side of Steph, so he stopped too quickly, and then there's a bit of a Constantini effect then, Gareth, and a little bit of contact between the drivers, but luckily I don't think anyone's got any damage. It was very light touching between those drivers, so through they go the second time round up the hill here, and everyone's a little bit spaced out at the moment after that restart, and no one too close yet. Harrison closing the gap down to Swain here, but I don't think he'll be close enough into the breakers. I know he won't, and Swain will hold P2 for now. But Delta doing a good job so far, but again, it's only lap 2 of 22. You know, it's far too early to try and figure out what's going to happen in this race. But he's not gone away too far yet, and that's crucial with regard to the tyres. Delta's on those softer compound tyres, and he'll be hoping to run away with it in the early stage of this race.
Now, I'm sure it was Elder that got wing damage, but it's Binary that came in for a new front wing. Also gone on to a set of softs as well. Sketchy obviously got that new front wing because he needed a new front wing because there was no wing on it at all. But I swear I saw damage on Elder's car, but I could very well be wrong. Quick did all over the back of the Ferrari of Stracker as they're coming through turns 13 and 14, the campus area, and Straka struggling for grip a little bit at this moment in time. And just ahead, you got Distant Bard all over the back of the medium runner of God of Gaming.
Yeah, and they've lost a lot of time here, guys. There's 2.3 seconds splitting Steph and God of Gaming here, but Distant Bard just can't get through at the moment. Still on board with the Mercedes drivers. He's got to go a long way around into the chicane. Can he do it? No, he can't. Not a single five. He's going to try to switch back here. Can he hang it around the outside through there? No, he can't. Delta fastest lap of the race, and through they go to begin lap 3, this second group of cars, but Distant Bard just can't get through at the moment. But we will have DRS now enabled, and this could be a chance. But look at the gap between first and second, Gareth. It's now 1.1 between first and second, and that's Delta starting to run away with it.
Yeah, and Harrison all over the back of Swain. The move's already done before the DRS is open. That's how quick Harrison was through Eau Rouge and Radion. And onto the Kemmel Straight, and Swain struggling a little bit for straight line speed at the moment. Straka getting past Distant Bard in this. God of Gaming does have a little bit of front wing damage, and that's why he's so slow through some of these areas on the track. Trying to re-attack the Ferrari is Distant Bard. How close is that? It's being pushed wide a little bit. Does Quick to decide to go through, but Distant Bard is staying on course at the moment and still trying to hold off Straka through all this, and somehow he's defended that overtake.
Great move by Distant Bard there. Straka tried everything in the textbook to try and defend that, but hanging around the outside there. And look in the background, they're side by side between Straka and Quick round pool, and we don't normally see that. And somehow Straka just about stays ahead. There's just a queue of cars behind that Ferrari now, but Straka just about holds off the Williams. But look at Archie in the background as well, just waiting for a mistake from these guys. A little bit of contact there. Archie pushes through turn 16 there. But Gareth, it's like a go-karting race here. Look how close they are. This group of cars, as they come to the end of this lap, can Quick get through here past Straka? He's trying his very best. Distant Bard still can't beat by God of Gaming up ahead as well, but neck and neck. There we go. Archie up the inside of Quick into the chicane. He still has a Williams on the inside. He's got to be careful not to get contact there, but he's got through actually. And King Liam also side by side with the Williams, but Quick just about has a better straight line speed over the Red Bull, and into turn 1 they go. Oh, this is entertaining racing, Gareth.
Map 45 and Jellyman Tim battling away as well, and there's a little bit of desync collision system going on. I'm not really 100% sure what's going on, to be perfectly honest. It's very odd to say the least, but Jellyman Tim has got through. That's Binary with the fastest lap of the race, and looking at it from Jellyman Tim's point of view, he's attacking Liam Hammond. I don't think there's going to be enough pace about it at the moment as they come down the Kemmel Straight. Map 45 is nowhere to be seen on the attack either. But interestingly enough, Swain hasn't got the straight line speed at all at the moment, and dropped away from Harrison, who is catching Delta. Yeah,
those tyres may be starting to wear off. Well, I mean, it's still far too early for that to happen, Gareth. Maybe just a mistake. We'll keep an eye on that gap. It's between 7 and 8 tenths at the moment, but Delta in his own sort of world at the moment. But Harrison, just like a hawk, is prying and waiting for any mistake, kind of claw that gap back down, and that gap is coming down. It's blipped into the 6s at one point through this middle sector, so Delta has got to keep that car in a straight line here, try and hold off the current champion here in F1XL. I don't think he's going to be able to just yet, but we'll see what happens as they come towards the end of lap 4 here. But Swain, Gareth, is just dropping off, and Steph is closing that gap down as well.
Yeah, but it's odd to see that Steph hasn't caught up as quickly as Harrison had. Harrison just seems to be on another level at the moment, which is incredible. Swain dropping behind again, but he's seemingly keeping that time there. But we've got a little bit of a skew whiff moment in the background. We've got drivers continually side by side. It's King Liam and Quick on this occasion as they come into turn 1. La Source, the moment there's a car off the track, and I think that's front wing damage to possibly God of Gaming. There is no front wing at all, and this is crazy. God of Gaming has got no front wing, and Eau Rouge and Radion are going to be very, very painful for those around him and in front of him. And I think that's Liam Hammond that's been, or had a collision, I suppose, with Straka.
Yeah, he's off, and luckily that car has still got a full front wing. It looks like God Gaming, obviously no front wing, but a smart move from God Gaming there, just got out of the way of all the cars. But now he's got back through because of the incident with Liam Hammond, and God Gaming is a moving roadblock here, and he just about gets out of the way of everybody else. And that's again a smart move from the Alpine driver, trying to nurse that car back to the pits here and trying to keep all four wheels on the wagon, and he lets Matt 45 through around the outside coming into Pouan there. But yeah, unfortunately for Liam Hammond, he's around, but again, luckily for him, it's still a long race to go, and he still has a full front wing on that Alfa Romeo. But back at the front, Gareth, the gap's now half a second between the top two.
And Gamer Man Steph has dispatched Swain as well. Swain may have made a mistake somewhere, which is not ideal for him. But Harrison, yeah, attacking as much as he can. And yeah, this is looking like a Harrison race victory right now. He's just looking strong. We'll have to wait and see when and if this rain does pop down. But and if it doesn't, maybe that's why Swain's on a little bit of a weaker setup.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that's we didn't think about that in this one, Gareth. But look at the top two now. It's half a second. It's now almost 4/10 as they come up the hill for the sixth time now. Can Harrison get by our race leader, codenamed Delta, second in the sprint race? Is he going to drop back to second within this one? Look at the speed of the Red Bull. He pops it up the inside. Delta's got nothing to defend with. Oh, he's going to hang it around the outside, though. A little bit of contact, and Delta holds the inside through 7 and 8. They go through 9. Can he hang it around the outside? It's so difficult. There's barely any room between them, but Delta somehow hangs around the outside of 9. Can he hang it around the outside of 10 here? Harrison has the inside. He's been pushed off, but somehow that Alpha is still there. He won't give up, Gareth. He's still on the inside, coming down towards Pouan for the sixth time here. Can he hang it around the outside, the Red Bull? No, he can't. The grip's on the inside, and that's Delta through a little bit of contact, and they're both around. That is Harrison around. Delta somehow holds on a straight line, but that is Harrison around and down to fourth place.
Wow. I mean, that just looks like a really weird contact model that's just happened. Distant Bard then back ahead of Harrison, and Harrison must be sick to death of a Mercedes because he had that Mercedes before in the sprint race, and now he's got it again in the feature race. But Harrison, wow, he's going to be a little bit frustrated, I think, with what's happened. But I don't know if you can put much blame on Delta with that. I'd have to definitely rewatch to get a full opinion of that. Anyway, it's a very, very weird contact that CRT Archie coming through. But I did mention, I'm going off on a rant now, Ollie, I'm afraid, but I did mention that it just seemed like a little bit of a glitchy lobby maybe tonight.
Yeah, and Gareth, if you hit that curb at Pouan, it does send you round, and there's a weird bit of contact. And like I said, the front wheel of Harrison hit that part of the track, and he unfortunately went round. But he's going to have another pop at Distant Bard here as they come on to the Kemmel Straight, and Bard already knows what's happening, and that is the Red Bull flying around the outside, and Bard slips back into slipstream here to try and keep up with the Red Bull driver, current champion. But Harrison's got a lot of work to do now, try and close the gap. But we've seen how quick he was, Gareth, in this race. So we'll see how he does the comeback in this race. Now, whether he can get back onto the podium here, we'll have to wait and see. Still a long way to go. 22 laps here. It's been only on lap 7, not even near the halfway point in this race. But it's Steph's turn to challenge Delta. This time 1.5, looking first and second. So a little bit too far away to make any moves just yet, but we'll see how he can negotiate again. A man on the hard tyres, and Delta's tyres maybe, guys, starting to feel a little bit of the pressure here, but again, still yet to see the rain happening, and I'm sure Delta would like it sooner rather than later, especially being on those softer compound tyres.
Yeah, definitely would need to have rain soon, and you start to wonder whether Delta's going to try do a medium interstint if it's inters or wets, just to get some pace out there. He would certainly be quick, but Harrison picking up a penalty as well, and I'm sure one of those warnings probably is for him going spin-a-rooney through Pouan, so he's probably going to be able to get that removed if he is capable of. But yeah, Distant Bard sticking to the back of Harrison for the time being. Distant Bard is quick. He is a quick driver. He just yeah, just needs a little bit of assistance from a DRS, and maybe he can do that as he comes through Eau Rouge and Radion and into the Kemmel Straight just to get to the back end of Harrison again. But it's looking very, very well. Harrison's just looking very, very quick no matter what.
Yeah, it's Harrison's quick at every circuit, Gareth. It's very rare to see Harrison be slow unless he's got damage to that front wing, and even when he's got damage, he's still quick. So yeah, he's just about doing his very best to keep up with him, and he's doing a great job so far. And I'm sure he's hoping Harrison can drag him along towards Swain. And King Liam's not too far back either, so keep an eye on him. Sketchy gets a penalty as well, but Steph almost within a second now of our race leader, and I'm sure he'll be hoping to try and get by him and claim the lead of this race. We've seen how good Steph can overtake that double move in the sprint race to get by Harrison and Bard. Was a phenomenal move by him, and he'll hoping to obviously do the same on our race leader in a few laps time if he can get within the 1 second window. But Harrison and Bard trying to claw their way back, and they have closed that gap to Swain. It was in the 4 second time window, but now 3.6, splitting third and fourth here in Belgium. But the gap still, it's fairly close, Gareth, on circuit, but everyone seems to have relaxed for a moment and gone, no, we don't want to do any overtaking here. We just want to chill and continue with our race in peace.
Yeah, well, I think that's what they're doing. But Archie's gone mega deep into the final chicane there, the bus stop chicane, and lost it massively. And now has been dispatched by Quickdid out of all this. Quickdid up into P7, Archie into P8. And that's allowed King Liam to have a little bit of a breathing room from drivers behind, and he's probably going to look at distant Bard ahead and try and get through an attack. Let's see though if Archie can make a move up on Quickdid as they come through Eau Rouge and Radion into the Kemmel Straight. Does Archie have enough on those mediums to make a move? Those tyres are going to be starting to wear. You can see slightly where the blistering's happening on the McLaren. Up the inside of Quickdid he goes, and Quickdid's going to try and stick around, but it's not going to happen on this occasion, and he has to settle to drop down to P8.
Yeah, great move from Archie. I thought he wasn't going to be close enough into the break-ins on there, but on those medium tyres was able to get that car stopped. Quickdid tried to hold up the inside, but you could see the extra pace that Archie had here. Swain gets a 3 second time penalty. That's not a man who's usually associated with penalties. So, and as well as Harrison, both those guys with penalties. But like you mentioned, guy, there could be one of those spins from Harrison that have caused the extra warning. But it is a strange sight to see with both third and fourth with penalties here. And Harrison is closing that gap, guys, phenomenally quick. It's now 2.7 between third and fourth. Obviously, that anger after the incident he had with Delta has forced him through, and he's on a charge now. 2.5 between third and fourth, and he's on a steam train on this circuit, just on rails, and he's closing that gap lap by lap, corner by corner. So hopefully we'll see a duel between these guys in this race. But this rain, guys, it's just not happening just yet. It's staying away for now. Obviously, still stay pretty much grey the whole time here. As we finally got a pit stop for Archie. Comes in at the end of lap 9. So we'll see what is he going to go on to. Probably a set of hard tyres for him. Okay, so maybe he doesn't think the race is going to happen.
Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see, because it looks like they're very much sitting in the boat of it's not going to be raining, but Delta needs to start thinking about pitting, and if he's going to do a double medium stint, it might not work, but it's a very, very precarious position Delta's in right now. We'll be looking for pits for Swain, Steph, Harrison, probably about lap 12, 13, especially with the lower fuel of the car. The lighter they are, the less wear they'll have on the tyres. Stracker and Matt 45 swap places because of Matt 45's pit stop, I believe. He's just warming up those tyres up again, but sticking on board with Gamerman Steph as he comes through the end of Sector 2 now into turns 15, Stamalot, and he's taking the corners a little bit more, well, full throttle from the looks of things in comparison to Delta. Delta's being a little bit more tentative.
Yeah, he is, and obviously with that the wear on those tyres is starting to feel the pinch now, isn't he? You can see Steph is a lot more smoother through these corners and into the chicane they go for the 10th time, and Steph should be in a good place here to get by. Nope, doesn't even need to, Gareth. As race leader pulls into the pits on lap number 10. Into the pits he goes and doesn't speed, which is perfect for him. What tyres will Codename Delta go onto in this race? Also, the Aston Martin guys are out for I don't know why it looks like they're waiting for something on circuit, but that's calling it onto hard tyres. So Gareth, obviously, at least I don't think there is any rain in this race.
No, so Delta lied to us. That's a good thing to remind ourselves of. Here comes Gamerman Steph then leading the way into Lecombs, and a 2.9 second lead over this man Swain, and then Harrison only a further 1.3 second back. There is action just a bit further on there. Quick did getting past Jellyman Tim, and that really is all we've got on the board at the moment. Let's go see if the other Ferrari of Straka can attack Sketchy as they come down the Kemmel Straight. It looks like he is catching, but I don't think the Kemmel Straight is going to be long enough on this occasion.
No, it's not. Then he'll have to stay behind him for another lap. Yeah, Straka doing his best. Obviously, he's come in. Obviously, he was involved with the incident earlier, I think, with Liam Hammond coming up over Rouge. So we'll see if he can get by Sketchy. Sketchy's done a few laps on his tyres, pitted early. Sketchy did in the race and trying to claw his way back. So he does have a penalty hanging over his head as well in this race. But Straka doing his best to keep up with him, and the gaps will start to form up now, as you can see it on circuit. But once we have a flurry of pits, I'm sure the next couple of laps that will change. Lap 11 of 22 at the halfway stage in this race, and Straka very much quicker than Sketchy here. Sketchy being very tentative through here, but Steph into the pits, Gareth, on lap number 11. So early stop for him and doing the undercut on the other drivers. But keep an eye on where is Delta in all this.
Maybe that's what he's keeping an eye on. Well, I'll stay on board. No, I'll go on board with Delta. Let's see what he does as he's coming down. He's on the harder compounder tyres. They will be the nicer tyres to be on at the end of the race, as long as it doesn't rain. Around the final corner, there is Gamerman Steph. So Steph's undercut has worked an absolute treat on has worked a treat on Delta, but Delta not, and Swain has been passed by Harrison yet again.
Yep, through he goes, and I didn't see that happening. Was happening with Steph, but that is the current champion through past our sprint race winner, and that is Harrison back into the lead of this race. You'll be happy with that, but obviously they've got to deal with the guys who pitted in the last lap, and does this trigger one of these two to come into the pits on this time around on lap 12 of 22? Disembarred also within the fight. King Liam not too far off either, but yeah, Steph doing a great job there, but look at Delta. He's clawed that gap right down, and now it's less than half a second between 8th and 9th plates there. But through the top two go through 15 and 16, and Swain keeping with Harrison in this. He's got maybe an extra breath of life since he's got by. But do they both come in on this lap, or one of them going to stay out a little bit longer? We know how good Harrison is on his tyres, but through towards the final chicane they go. Is anyone going to peel into the pit boxes on this lap? And it looks like Harrison does, and Swain regains the lead of this race, guys. But keep an eye on where Steph and Delta are.
Yeah, let's see what Harrison does. Let's see it from Harrison's point of view then. Into the pits for the Red Bull driver. Set of medium compound tyres just behind his distant Bard, who's having exactly the same boots fitted onto him. The Williams of Quick Did is into the pits as well, but Delta is through, and how much of time is between him and Harrison? I think that was just on the bottom of the screen there, Delta going through, and there he is at the bottom of Eau Rouge and Radion, and that could very well be a very similar time as when they went into the pits. So Game Man Steph has a lot of pressure on his shoulders to try and get through this background malarkey ahead of him, so he doesn't have to worry about there's contact between him and Elder as well. Elder not giving way.
No, and Elder's not making it easy for him at all, is he? I'm sure Bard is happy with this. The Elder, his teammate, is holding up these guys and allowing him to get closer. But in fairness to Elder, he has every right to defend that position. And this battling is allowing Delta to claw back through. Can Steph get through here? No, he can't. Into pool and they go. There's a little bit of contact there. There might be a tag there, but side by side on the exit of pool and down towards turn number 13 they go. 13 and 14 around the outside he goes, and that is Steph finally through past Elder. And now it's Delta's turn to try and get past the stubborn Mercedes of AERL Elder in this race. And like I said, in fairness to him, Gareth, he has every right to defend it.
He definitely does. Let's see how the rest of it goes out. King Liam, Jellyman Tim and Swain are the only drivers yet to have pitted in this Grand Prix. They are staying out for the time being. Where is Swain? Swain staying out. King Liam pops in. Jellyman Tim, what does he decide? He's sticking close to the right-hand side. Nope, it was a bit of desync. He's staying out on track at the moment. Elder being passed by Delta now. Delta doing his best to cling to the coattails of Gamerman Steph. And just behind is Harrison. I think that is a pit stop for Elder as well. He's decided to pit this time. But I wonder if Swain and maybe there is rain and Swain and Jellyman Tim are holding out.
Could be, guys. Could be. Maybe the guys who pitted earlier are thinking, well, it might not rain heavy enough and we can stay on the dry tyres. Very much a throwback to when it was rain but not wet enough on the circuit. So it could be we have that situation again. We're really not sure. I wish hopefully in the next game we can have that data of what the weather is doing. But we'll see. Maybe, like I said, they're just holding out till the rain at the very end of this race. But they will be compromised if the guys on the fresh tyres do catch them up. Swain's got a hell of a lead, but Jellyman Tim has not got that. It's only 2 seconds between him and a very quick game man Steph.
Yep, and it's still about 5 seconds though between Steph and Harrison. So Steph is using as much of those tyres as possible at this moment in time. Delta splitting the two drivers who many thought would be the championship protagonists this season. Obviously Harrison and Steph that. But yeah, Jellyman Tim is being caught at a rate of knots by Steph as they come through the start of the third sector. Sorry. Now let's go on board with King Liam Hammond because that's what's happening at the moment as we go through turns 15 and 16.
Yep, they're neck and neck, aren't they? They come to the exit at 16. King Liam almost pushing Liam Hammond. Also, Liam's not come into the pits yet. King Liam has come into the pits, and look as then they come through Blanchimont and turn 18. Can the Red Bull hanging around the outside? Liam is making this difficult for his name counterpart, but a little bit of contact there between them both, and they both just about squeeze through. And there's a little bit more contact again from the drivers. Into turn 1 they go. Does the Alpha give up? No, he doesn't. King Liam doing everything within his arsenal to get by. They're still side by side coming through the exit of 1. But King Liam finally makes his way through past Liam. But could Liam Hammond try and get back at the Red Bull here? Through they go. They both stay in a straight line here. Yellow flags. I think that's Ferrari who's made a mistake. But can Liam get back at King Liam? Down the camel straight they go. He's got the DRS wide open. And this is hampering King Liam's race here. He's on fresh tyres. And he just can't get rid of Liam Hammond. Liam Hammond doing a great defensive job. And through back he goes into P6. And watch out because you've got Archie and Quicktid in the background.
Yeah, this is not ideal for the Red Bull driver at all. And I wonder, I'll have to go on board with Jellyman Tim in a minute to see what's happened with him. But this is a real close battle at the moment. King Liam again looking for an attackive move on the Alpha, but it's not happening at the moment. And you know what? If anything, this is helping Swain out if he has to go onto a set of softs or something at the end of the Grand Prix, because he's really in a well, there's going to be the gap for him just to fit into. But King Liam surely is not going around the outside of Stavelot. It's side by side, but he just can't find a way through that Alfa Romeo. It is so tight between these four drivers. Where does King Liam go? He went early last time. Oh, we tried to go early last time, but there's a little bit more contact. Oh my goodness, they have entered each other to make King Liam Hammond.
They have, and that is a safety car here at Spa. Is it a safety car or is it going to be a virtual? Looks like a virtual. And Gareth, I'm not sure. There is a lot of lag here between on King Liam's screen. I don't know whether that was part of the issue, but pit stops for Liam Hammond and Strack. Obviously, Liam Hammond had to pit in that flurry, and obviously no front wing on the Red Bull. But yeah, I think there was some sort of connection issue there, guys, because you could see King Liam drifting sideways but still travelling at 180 miles an hour. So I'm not really sure what's happened there. DRS is re-enabled, and we're back under racing conditions once again.
And Quick did all over the back of Archie as they come down the Kemmel straight, and it should be a relatively easy move for Quick did, and it does look like it is. That's interesting because it has given a little bit of an advantage to Swain, just a little bit. That virtual safety car was when he was going down through Lacombe's and then into turn 10, while everyone else was on the Kemmel straight, so they had to be slow, and he could use less pace and less tyre wear going through the more technical areas and then pull away quickly. So I think Swain has got just a little bit of an advantage out of that one. Game man Steph, though, has now got Delta for company. That's a turn up for the books because Delta is on those hard compound tyres, but he seems to be holding pace still.
Yep, unfortunately for Steph as well, he's got Harrison not too far back as well, who's closing that gap to the Alfa Romeo of Codan Delta coming into the bust-up chicane. They go and Swain into the pits, Gareth. He decided to pit near the end, and that's a horrible braking zone for Delta, and he's gone deep, and that could allow Harrison through here. Where does Swain pop out in all this? I think all the three will get Swain here, but Harrison around the outside of the Alfa here. There's rank 2 for these two, but it looks like it is Harrison with the extra grip, and through he goes, and Delta can't do anything through here. Swain down to 5th now, but it's had a soft for McLaren driver, but let's stay on board with the fight for P2 here. Can Harrison hold off Delta here? Onto the straight they go. It could be 2 places lost for Steph here. They're both going to go 3 abreast into the braking zone. Oh my word, that was a close one. Harrison just about makes it through past Stefan. Can Delta get through as well? They're side by side. He's had to cop the curb there, and it just about Steph holds P2 here, but Harrison now takes the lead of this Grand Prix.
So a second time of asking Delta and Harrison. It was definitely clean that time around and no issues at all, but Swain had to pit. It had to be done, and now he's going to hopefully be the fastest man on the track in his eyes on those soft compound tyres. He is going to try and fly and catch up to the rest of them. It's not much of a gap. It's less than I thought it would be. Swain's got an opportunity here. Stracker with a 3-second time penalty down in 13th place. I'm guessing Jellyman Tim. Yeah, I've finally gone back to Jellyman Tim. I said I was going to go on board with him after his incident out the pits. It must have been he just put the power down too early or something, but there doesn't look like there's any damage. Harrison has pulled away from Steph and Delta. That is crucial. Exactly.
That's the important thing here with, 5 laps to go as they cross the line to begin lap 18 of 22 here. And crucially, he's got that DRS window here, but Steph might just sneak back into it. Actually, yes, he does. And Steph just about holds that. Obviously, he was not close enough to make a move on our race leader here, but that is so crucial with regard to the pace down the Kemmel straight. But keep an eye on where Swain is in all this. 3.2 off the back of Justin Bard. I don't know whether he can claw his way back all the way through these drivers, but obviously that rain isn't happening now in this race. But Swain, definitely a man to keep an eye on in the latter stages of this Grand Prix, as everyone else's tyres will start to wear off, while Swain's got those pacey, soft tyres on that car. But Delta just can't make his way through Steph just yet, but he's the closest man on circuit, I think, with regard to battling at the moment as we come to the end of the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's getting very, very spicy, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Harrison should win this on track, and I wonder if it will be afterwards. Game man Steph has to just keep on plugging away, keep staying as close as he can to that Red Bull. Swain is now 2.4 seconds behind this man, Distant Bar. There's a McLaren in the background as the Mercedes goes into turn 13, now into 14. What can Distant Bar do? Because he's able to catch up some areas, but there's that little dip in power in the into the entry of Stavelot, which could cost him, because now that time is creeping back up in to Delta ahead, and Delta all of a sudden is dropping away from Steph a little bit as well, so Delta could be in trouble.
Yeah, both Delta and Steph were dropping off the driver ahead respectively. So they're both struggling a little bit on those tyres. Distant Bard on a little bit younger medium tyres, and like you said, Gareth, the gap is toing and froing at the moment. And the problem for Bard is he's got a very pacey Swain who's not far behind him. And there we go, a 46 flat. Not the fastest lap we've had this race weekend, though. I think that was just quicker by 1/100th by Harrison in the sprint race, but we'll see what Swain can do here. The gap is coming down very quickly between himself and Bard, as we'd expect, Gareth. And we'll see if Bard can do anything to defend from Swain. Crucially, the Gareth, it'll really depend where Swain catches him with regard to the drivers ahead as well. If he catches him coming through 7, 8, 9 and 10, he might be in a little bit of trouble getting stuck behind Bard. But I don't know whether Swain will have enough time to catch up with the top three.
No, time is definitely against him, especially with that 3-second time penalty as well. On top of that, it looks like 5th place is going to be his home for the evening. Sketchy picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's had a bad day of it all. And Jellyman Tim and Liam Hammond battling away. So after Liam Hammond's incident, he's now fighting away through there. But it's going to be an interesting one. A fair few stewards' reports, I think, is going to happen tonight. But whether it will or not is another thing. But let's, I suppose, go back up to Delta, because Delta's trying his best to stay in tune with Game Man Steph at the moment.
Yeah, he's trying his best, Gareth. He just hasn't got the pace in those tyres. A couple more laps, and he might be, more in favour. Obviously, those medium tyres wear quicker than the hard tyres, but he's staying true to Steph, and Steph obviously dropping back off Harrison 1.9, splitting first and second now. And Harrison might not even need that 3-second time penalty here in the feature race here, but we'll have to wait and see. That gap just about staying within DRS zone for Delta as they come through turn 1 for the 20th time here in Spa. And Swain again just not close enough yet, and those soft tyres are wearing quicker and quicker, and he'll be noticing that, I'm sure, even after 3 laps on those tyres. And Bard's doing everything he can to try and claw his way back to Delta, but that gap's also going up. But Delta again not close enough to Steph to make a move into 7, 8 and 9 on lap 20, and they'll stay in this formation for now. But in fairness to Harrison, Gareth, he is just streaming ahead, and even after that spin with the contact he had with Delta at the beginning of the race, it's not affected him, and he's running away with this.
Yeah, he's doing a cracking job at the moment, is Harrison. And just in the background there, Distant Bard now starting to be maybe feeling the pressure of a McLaren behind. But these top 5 have been a little bit of a class above at the moment. They're now 10 seconds in front of any other challenger, and that is Quickdid, who does have Archie for company as well. Game Man Steph, though, has a few laps just as that binary in off the track at the exit of turn 9. Game Man Steph, all he needs to do for another 2 laps is just keep as close to Harrison as possible. King Liam getting a penalty for his troubles as well. I suppose it's time really to go on board with Swain. He's 7/10 of a second behind Distant Bard. Is he going to have enough to do anything going through into Chemelstrate and Radion?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see here. Great exit of the Distant Bard there, though, on the coming out of turn 19 and 20. In fairness, I think it could be Delta, they're both very similar gaps, aren't they, between second and third and fourth and fifth. But I think Swain has the better exit coming through down towards Eau Rouge and Radion here. Through they go. It's the penultimate lap here. Can Swain do anything here to try and claw his way into the top 3? Jellyman Tim, fastest lap of the weekend with a 46.012 here, but Swain, Gareth, is not close enough on this occasion, and now he's going to be stuck behind Distant Bard at the slowest point on the circuit. Well, one of the slower points on the circuit here, coming down towards turn 10 and 11. And Swain is, again, like I said, Gareth, has caught him at the wrong point on the circuit.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be that way, and he's just running out of ERS as well. He'd been managing his ERS really well early doors, but maybe too well he'd managed his ERS, and maybe that's cost him a little bit, and now he's using more and more and more. It's 2.4 seconds between Harrison and Game Man Steph, with Delta there for company as well, because Delta actually if he gets past Steph and stays within that 3-second part, he's going to be the race winner.
Exactly. Yeah, the problem is, guys, if they start dueling away, they'll lose that time very quickly, and that is Swain around Gareth. Swain's made a mistake, and Swain didn't see what happened. I don't think there was any contact. I don't think they were close enough to make contact. Maybe they were, but we missed that, and Swain around will stay in 5th place, but again, that's cost him a heap of time. He might even drop back to 6th place with how close Quickdead still is to our McLaren man.
Yeah, that could be problematic for Swain. I say problematic, massively problematic, because it's 2.5 seconds between Quickdead and Swain right now, both McLaren drivers with penalties to their name as well. So Swain could very well see himself getting demoted to 6th place. Delta, though, trying to attack Gamerman Steph. It's 2.6 seconds between Steph and Harrison at this present moment in time, but that's going to change because Delta's all over the back of the AlphaTauri. Down the Kemmel Straight they go. It's Delta that could very well do something in this Grand Prix. It's 2.5 seconds between Delta and Harrison. Does Delta have enough to pull himself along and take victory here tonight?
Got to keep up this pace, Gareth. You've shown it there. Overtook Steph at you could argue, the perfect moment, Gareth. They didn't lose any time whatsoever battling with our 3rd place man, and there's 2.636. He's just got to just keep that 4/10 gap there. Just make no mistake in this last lap. Just hold and try and get his first win of the season here. It's 2.5. He's closing the gap to our race leader, if anything, and it could be Delta's race to win here. It is to throw away, Gareth. He's got to keep that car pointing in a straight line. No more mistakes. Make sure he breaks at the perfect moment on every corner, and it might be his race to win.
It might be. It might not be, because it's teetering on the edge. It's 2.6 seconds still. Harrison is going to push everything he can to the end of the Grand Prix. There's another yellow flag. What's that yellow flag about? Nothing at all. Okay, interesting. It's 1.8. It was Harrison that's made the mistake. Harrison has made the mistake. He's ghosted. What has gone on here? The yellow flag is to do with the Red Bull, and all of a sudden, Harrison has dropped down. Has he run out of fuel?
He must have, Gareth, because he didn't leave the lobby. I didn't see any. I should have gone on board with him, but it must have been. That's the only reason he would have slowed down. I can't imagine why he would have done that.
And then out of that, Gamerman Steph has dropped to 0.021 to Distant Bard. That is nuts in itself. Look how close the end of this race has finished, and we can't really understand why, how, or where.
When did Steph have a penalty then?
No.
I don't remember. I thought Steph was ahead of Bard. I'm
Yeah.
perplexed by that.
Maybe we had 2 drivers run out of fuel right at the end. I think that could be what we've experienced. Quickdead did finish P5 in the end out of all that. Binary's going to come home just ahead. He's not going to finish last because of the penalties. Wow. Okay. That was something else, really. Elder gets driver of the day from the game. But I would like you to think on that one while we go down the order one last time here in F1XL when we're trying to figure it out all ourselves. It's Delta with the victory, with Distant Bard in 2nd place and Gamerman Steph rounding out the podium. In 4th place, it was Harrison with Quickdead in 5th, 6th going to Swain, Archie in 7th, 8th to God of Gaming, 9th to Elder, Matt 45 rounding out the points. So that's good for Matt 45 getting some points in his race tonight. Jellyman Tim, Liam Hammond, King Liam, Stracker, Binary and Sketchy rounding out the rest of the finishers. How do we class that? What?
I'm just yeah, that's such a weird finish. I don't think we've ever had something like that. It reminded me of, I don't know if you remember the Formula E race in Mexico 2 or 3 seasons ago when they ran out of fuel on the line. Very much just like that. So that was bizarre. I've never seen anything like that, Gareth. And well, it made the race even more exciting right at the end, and more things to add to the pot of a great race here at Belgium here in F1XL.
Yeah, that was something else to think of. Who was your driver of the day?
I think for me, Delta Gareth, his first win of the year. So yeah, I think he'd be very happy with that. Obviously, things went his way, which is always the way in racing. So for me, it's Conan Delta for driver of the day in the future.
Okay. Well, we do have him in the party. Well, I say the party. We do have him joining us for the podium questions. So, Ollie, on this one, I'll hand over to you.
Stuart Delta, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear. I'm here.
Fantastic. Well, Delta, well done. First win of the season. Obviously over the moon with that.
Yeah, I didn't expect after. I was hoping for an early safety car. That's why I went on the mediums, but it didn't happen. So I thought my race was over then, but I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out in your favour, and obviously it wasn't made easy for you because you chatted with Steph and Harrison and Swain. I mean, it was non-stop battling throughout the whole race.
Yeah, I think I went on the lower downforce preset. I'm not sure. So that middle sector was a bit of a struggle, but the straights definitely made up for it, and I think it worked out in my favour at the end.
And it must be nice to finally get that sort of monkey off your back, get that first win under the belt, and you can, almost relax now.
Yeah, well, back-to-back wins because I got a win in PRS last night. So
happy days.
Last night. So back-to-back woo, the first time I actually win.
Well, it was great to see a new podium winner there. So well done, Delta, on the win, and also driver of the day in the feature race as well. So well done on that, and we'll move on to Steph, who's swiftly joined us in the party. Steph, did you run out of fuel at the end?
Yes, I did. I was trying to save the world time. That's why I fucked a virtual safety car. That cost me the P2, I think. Yeah, I ran out at few as well, like Harrison. But Harrison did a bit earlier, so I could overtake him. But yeah, I should have won that, to be fair. So not to say Delta, but I really fucked that. But okay, I had the pace for a track I don't even like. So it's
Yeah.
I'm a bit frustrated because fuel, but it was my fault. So.
I mean, you mentioned you got your pace at a circuit that isn't your favourite, but still, a good haul of points, and crucially, like you said, you beat Harrison in that as well.
Yeah, I beat Harrison. Yeah, he's still too much ahead of me, to be fair. But still, I gained 4 points on him today, so so that's a bit. And if I do that every race, I can still win it. So.
Well, it's a long season, Steph. There's still plenty of time to catch up with Harrison in the standings, and next week we're going down to South America in Brazil. How do you like the Sao Paulo circuit?
I think it's a bit better for me. It's not my favorite track. It's not. The tracks that are coming up that are not my best tracks. Yeah, I don't know what tracks are coming up. So I will watch. Okay. Okay. Abu Dhabi is okay track. Then Saudi Arabia I'm not really good at. So it's Spain I'm not really good at. So it's a bit. But then Hungarian, and then Austrian, and then Chinese, and then that are one of my favorite tracks. So hopefully I can do well there. And yeah, I should have won it today, but I really fucked this for myself. So I'm a bit annoyed about that. But
yeah. No, I'm sure, but that's racing sometimes, and doesn't always go your way. But you still got a good haul of points in that altogether. Well done, Steph, on your podium, and well done to Disemboweled as well on his podium. And Gareth, I'll hand it back to you.
Well, what a crazy race here at Belgium in F1XL. The sprint race had a safety car. That's all you need to know, and the feature race was something to behold as well. Ollie, final words from you, please.
Great race, Gareth. Lots of overtaking, which is always good. A little bit of controversy as well, and good to have a new race winner in both the sprint and the feature this evening, Gareth. So keep it coming.
We will definitely like to see how it all continues to pan down. But for now, that's us for the week. We will be back for the Brazilian Grand Prix at around 10 next time out. But for now, thank you so much for watching or rewatching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Down the inside.
What a move!
The Aston Martin driver is desperate to keep a hold of the position.
Oh, how has he managed that as well?
Wow.
Will he go on the inside? Oh, he tried it. Oh, squidgy's out.
Big crash there. Turn 15, isn't it?
Oh, he's dropped. What a move for the SF.
Wow.
Charlie, world champion for the second time in a row.
Vidal is a 4-time champion.
And Harvey is the F1XL Season 17 champion.